What if I told you? Formula One wasn't always about discipline, strategy, and precision. There was a time when drivers lived like kings, partied like rock stars, and broke every rule imaginable. This is the untold story of when Playboy culture took over Formula One. Back in the golden era of Formula One, racing wasn't just a sport, it was a lifestyle. Drivers weren't just athletes. They were celebrities, icons, symbols of power and freedom. Huge money deals, luxury hotels, private jets, and a world that treated them like untouchable legends. And with that power came temptation. The podium wasn't just for winning anymore. It became a stage for chaos. Champagne showers turned into wild celebrations. Parties didn't end after the race, they just got started. Behind the scenes, the lifestyle was even crazier. Exclusive parties, fame, endless attention. Formula One had become a playground for the elite. But this lifestyle came at a cost. Focus started to slip, pressure increased, and the line between passion and distraction began to blur. Some drivers thrived in the chaos, others couldn't handle it, and slowly, the sport started to change. The FIA and teams realized something had to change. Rules became stricter, media control increased, and the image of Formula One was rebuilt. The wild Playboy era was coming to an end. Today, Formula One is sharper, more professional, more controlled than ever before. But many fans still ask, was that chaotic era actually the most exciting time in F1 history? Because deep down, everyone loves a little chaos, and Formula One was never the same again. If you enjoyed this deep dive into F1's wildest era, make sure to subscribe and hit like thumbs up, because the next story is even crazier. But this era didn't just happen. It was driven by personalities. Drivers who didn't just race. They lived on the edge. Men who saw danger and smiled. Names that became legends, not just for what they did on track, but for how they lived off it. They were fearless, unpredictable, addicted to speed and everything that came with it. And the world couldn't look away. Money changed everything. As sponsorships exploded, Formula One stopped being just a sport. It became a business empire. Luxury brands entered the scene. Massive deals were signed. And suddenly, drivers weren't just racing for trophies. They were racing for millions. With wealth came power. And with power came excess. The media loved it. Every party, every scandal, every wild moment became a headline. Drivers became larger than life. Not just athletes, but global celebrities. And the more attention they got, the more extreme things became. Because in this world, being fast wasn't enough. You had to be unforgettable. But behind the glamour, there was tension. Teams began to struggle. Discipline versus freedom. Control versus chaos. Some managers tried to control their drivers. Others let them live freely, hoping talent would outweigh the risks. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes that ended in disaster. Then came the moment that made everyone stop. A reminder that Formula One is not just glamour. It's danger. Real danger. And suddenly, the wild lifestyle didn't feel as glamorous anymore. It felt risky. Too risky. Drivers started thinking differently. Focus became everything. Training became stricter. Lifestyle became controlled. The Playboy driver image started fading, replaced by athletes who treated F1 like a science. So what changed? Then, chaos, freedom, wild lifestyles. Now, discipline, precision, total control.